Berry leather is one of the most valuable resources in Grounded. It's used to make many of the best items in the game right now. In this video, I'll show you how to get berry leather, as well as how to get the most berry leather per berry. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, now's a great time to do so you never miss any future Grounded videos. Let's get started. So as always, we're on the base ball, which is right near the starting spawn location. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the map real quick. So the base ball is here towards the center of the map. What we're going to do is we're going to make our way down to the southeast corner of the map, which is where the hedge is located. That's where we're going to be doing our berry farming. So once we get over there, I will show you what you need berry leather to craft. I will also show you how to get the berries out of the hedge, as well as the best way to convert the berry chunks that you'll be gathering into berry leather. So let's head on over there real quickly. Okay, so I made my way over to the hedge, and what we're going to do really quickly before we start gathering some berries is I'm going to show you what you can use berry leather to craft with. So first of all, berry leather is made out of berry chunks, which we will collect in just a minute. You can craft berry chunks, but there's also another way to turn berry chunks into berry leather, which I'll show you after we collect some. And real quick, let's go quickly look at what the right here we will look at berry leather. So berry leather, as I mentioned, is used to make some of the best items in the game. It's used to make the ladybug faceplate, chestplate, and shin guard, so the entire ladybug armor, which is the highest defense armor in the game right now for the full set. And it's tier 2. It's also used to make the tier 2B armor, which is the face mask, the shoulder pads, and the shin guards. The tier 2 spider armor, so the full set of spider armor requires berry leather. And then it's also needed to make the Firefly headlamp, which is a headpiece that you can use to light up your dark areas so you don't have to carry a torch. The marksman cap, which is a tier 3 armor. This boosts your damage with bows. And then it's used to make the tier 2 hammer, which is the insect hammer, which you're going to need to break some of the harder to break things in the game, specifically the charcoal. And it just does a lot more damage. It makes breaking like sap and pebbles a lot easier. Then you're also going to need it to make buoyant foundations. So you can put buoyant foundations in the koi pond and they will float. And it's also used to make the berry leather chair. So you'll see that right here. So those are the things used to make. It's also required to repair. I know the ladybug armor, I believe it's required to repair all these as well. So all these things I think require at least one berry leather to repair. So you're going to end up needing quite a bit of berry leather as you progress through the game. So we're over here in the hedge, and as you'll see, there's berries everywhere. So one tip is that, well, yes, you can sometimes find them on the ground, and then there's also sometimes, there's one down in this leaf, and there's some other places where they're down on the ground. I would expect, like, when I first started gathering berries, what I would do is I would just walk up to them in the hedge and then knock them down with my axe. So you will need an axe to chop them up. But what I ended up figuring out was the best way to get them is actually to just shoot them with a bow. So you don't have to shoot the stems. You can just shoot any part on the berry. So let's go over here, find one that it's gonna fall straight down for us. So all you're gonna do is aim up here with your bow. In this case, I have the insect bow. You can use the sprig bow or the crossbow. As long as you hit the berry one time, it's gonna fall. It also is gonna usually either keep depending on how far it falls, the arrow will stay inside of it, and then also, or it'll just fall a little bit further away. And then you're just gonna need an axe to chop it. So we're gonna chop it here a couple times. And there you can see we got our berry chunks. And then you can just do this. You can walk around here. The hedge has a ton of berries. From the western side here, which is where I am, which is where the hedge ascent is, all the way over to I think it's about the middle area over here. It's probably like this entire rectangle here. This is mostly safe. There's not going to be a lot of orb weavers. There are some orb weavers, I think, over here, and then up along the top here, there's tons of orb weavers underneath it. Up in the hedge, actually, the only insects you're gonna have to worry about are spiderlings. And then over here by there's a larva spawn here, a big larva spawn here. Sometimes they wander over here. There are some mites over here, and then this rock right here typically has at least two bombardier beetles. And over here, you're gonna have some mosquitoes. They sometimes come over here, but they're not gonna really bother you over here. So you're usually pretty safe in collecting the berries. And like I said, the best way to collect them is basically just to get your bow out, aim at them, hit it. There it goes. Not sure where that arrow went. They made a liar out of me. Usually it ends up either sticking into it or it will just fall straight down. But that's okay. If we lose a couple berries, not a big deal. So you're going to end up getting, I think, 3 to 4 berry chunks per berry. So that's how you get them. You can go, they do respawn. I'm not sure if I don't think it's the next day. I don't know exactly how long it is. It's 1 to 3 days, I would guess, that they respawn. Or they grow back, I guess, in this case. So you can just keep coming back and harvesting them forever. You cannot find them anywhere else outside of the hedge currently. I think this is the only place they're going to be. I'm not sure if there's been no indication they're going to be added any other time into the backyard. So let's walk up here, back up to where our little setup is, and I'm going to show you the 2 different ways that you can actually turn these berry chunks into berry leather. Now, surprisingly enough, berry chunks can't currently be eaten, as far as I know. Yeah, it says, nope, they cannot. You cannot actually eat them, which is kind of interesting. You would think they would be edible, which would be pretty cool as well. So there's 2 ways to turn berry chunks into berry leather. The most common way is to probably come over to your workbench and then just craft it. So 3 berry chunks using the workbench turns into 1 berry leather. So we'll just do that one time just to show you. So that's going to give us our berry leather. Now, what I'm going to say is this is, unless you have the quest from Burgle that is requiring you to craft, there's a quest he gives out that'll say craft berry leather. You can use it for that. Other than that, though, unless you do not have access to the jerky racks, I would say don't ever craft berry leather unless maybe it's like you're in a, you don't have access to the, maybe you need it like in a spur of a moment to repair something and you have access to a workbench but not the jerky racks. So the jerky racks, what you can do with jerky racks, obviously you can put some of the insects like the aphids, weevils, water fleas, I think there's one other one that you can actually put on here. Oh, gnats. That when you kill those little insects, you can put them on here and turn them into jerky. You can also put grass or plant fiber on here, which will turn into dry grass. But most importantly, you can put berry chunks on here. So we're going to hang these berry chunks. You can do 3 on each one. And what this ends up doing is instead of having it turn 3 berry chunks, or having 3 berry chunks turn into 1 leather, every berry chunk will turn into leather. So if you're able to, craft as many jerky racks as possible, because not only is it great for making jerky food, it's really good for berry leather. So you're going to probably end up needing a large amount of berry leather as you play through the game. It seems to be it seems to be part of most of the higher tier armors right now, and I'm not sure. There was definitely in the trailer for the Shroom and Doom update, there were some things shown in there that were not actually added in the Shroom and Doom update. So it's likely that there's going to be some more armor added to the game, probably more weapons or tools, and there's a chance based on like what's currently in the game that the berry leather might actually be required for it. So that's my tip right there. Like I said, you can shoot them down with your arrows, so you don't have to walk up and chop them. You don't have to chop them out of the tree and then fall down. You can just shoot them down with an arrow. They'll fall down. A lot of times they'll splat, and then you can just hit them. Usually you can get most of your arrows back. I just recommend, one of the things I'll recommend is don't shoot down like a bunch of them at one time. It's better to shoot down maybe like 1 or 2 and make sure they fall in the same area so you don't lose track of where they are. And that way you'll be able to collect your arrows as well. And then if at all possible, unless you have that Burgle quest where it says to craft berry leather, do not craft it if you don't absolutely have to. Make jerky racks, hang it on the jerky racks. When you go to sleep and wake up the next day, I think it takes about 1 day for it to turn into berry leather. It's going to just make it a lot easier, and you're going to end up having to get far fewer berries to turn into berry leather. So that's going to do it for this video. If you found the video helpful, make sure you smash that like button, as it really does help get my videos out to more people just like you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.